Sometimes it feels like Gen Z kids will literally believe anything they see on TikTok. So, for example, if you see on TikTok that snow is fake and planted by the government, a Gen Z kid might actually believe it. And in today's story, one of them does. It's absolutely crazy. So let's just jump right into it and subscribe if you're new. And yeah, let's go. So we're going to call the subscriber who submitted today's story Brian. So anyways, right, one day, Brian was just out with his class during recess, and there's, it was snow. It was the winter time, so there was snow out there. It was just, I don't know, man. It was always fun when it snowed for me. Like, I'd always, we'd have, snowball fights when the teachers weren't looking. You'd make snow forts, snow castles. It was just so fun to live, in a place that had snow. So sorry to the people who haven't experienced snow. It's not actually as fun as some people make it out to be or how it looks, but it can be a lot of fun. But anyways, Brian was with his friends one day, and this kid who we're going to call the Gen Z kid, and I'm really just calling him the Gen Z kid, not because he was technically born in Gen Z, so don't take it personally, guys, but because he got all of his information off of TikTok and Twitter, which is a total Gen Z kid move. So anyways, sorry, I was going to call him Luke. Brian and his friends were just, out there chilling, making snow forts, making some snowballs or whatever, and that's when the Gen Z kid comes up and says, "Hello guys, did you know that actually the snow is a prop from the government, right?" Brian's just like, "Dude, what?" And he's like, "Yes, guys, I don't know if you realize this, which you guys are kind of NPC bots, so I wouldn't expect you to realize this, but the snow is actually fake. It is a plant from the government." And Brian's like, "Okay, what kind of plant? Why would they make fake snow?" And Brian's like, "That's not incredibly important. We don't understand the inner workings of of what they're doing. But just so you know, the snow is fake. It's not real, and it is the government who has put it there." And Brian's like, and his friends kind of are like, "Dude, what?" Because they pick up a clump of snow and they're like, "How is this fake?" And he's like, "So basically, the government puts fake snow, and there is no real snow. It's actually all government props. They put the fake snow out there, and it basically confuses the masses like you. So someone like me who isn't a sheeple won't fall for such a easy trick to understand." And so Brian and his friends kind of look at each other like, "Okay, what the heck is going on right now?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" And he's like, "Oh, so, yes, the government, they fool a lot of people like you, especially the weak-minded. But me, who's very strong-minded, knows better than this." And so Brian, picks up some snow, packs it together into a snowball, and chucks it at not the spoiled kid, the Gen Z kid, and it, hits him in the face. And he's like, "Dude, I'm pretty sure that was real, dude." Yeah, so basically the Gen Z kid walked away from them being like, "You guys are just puppets of the government. You don't know any better," or whatever. And the Gen Z kid, what he does is he starts walking around, starts talking to a lot of different people in the playground. So he's not able to convince most people. I think most people realize that snow is actually real, and it is not the government. They're putting, I don't even know, right? It's not a massive plot to I don't even know what the plot would be about. That's the craziest thing. Why would they even do it? But anyways, the Gen Z kid was actually able to get a decent group of people, 5 to 10 kids. Okay, remember, they're kids, right? These aren't adults or anything. But 5 to 10 kids to believe him, to actually learn the truth about snow. And they all started going around like a little group. So the Gen Z kid was able to make a snow is fake support group, basically. And they would go around starting to talk to people, right? So Brian and his friends see this and they hear about this. And Brian turns to his friend. He's like, "Bro, this kid needs to be stopped. Why is he telling everyone? Why is he convincing people? How is he convincing people that snow is not real? Why would they actually believe this?" And yeah. So the next day, the snow melts because if you don't know, snow comes and snow goes. But I don't know, man. That happens. And Brian walks over, or not Brian, sorry, the Gen Z kid walks over to Brian and his friends. And it's the next day at recess. And the Gen Z kid is like, "So, Brian, where did all your precious snow go?" And this time, the Gen Z kid was not alone. He was with the 5 to 6 or so other members of the Snow is Fake group or whatever that he made. And everyone in the group starts laughing and pointing at Brian. And Brian's like, what? Like, dude, snow melts. And the Gen Z kid's like, oh, so that's your excuse? That's such a poor excuse, Brian. Oh, it just melted? OMG, like it definitely wasn't like undeployed by the government. That makes a lot more sense, bro. Like you're so stupid. And everyone in like the group is pointing and laughing at Brian like, oh my God, this guy actually believes snow is real. Oh my God, how did he come up with something so crazy? Wow. And so Brian's just looking at him like, dude, like, why? Like, why do you even think this? Like, this is literally the stupidest thing I've ever, like, heard. Like, why? And Brian's like, or no, sorry, the Gen Z kid is like, well, actually, if you did research like I did my own research, and I wasn't a sheeple like you. And I found many, many sources telling me that it's actually a psyop operation in the government is putting snow down to have complete control over the population. That's how they do it, Brian. I've broken free of their grasp, but you are still a sheeple. And Brian's like, dude, what? Like, okay, man, can you explain to me why they would fake snow? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. And the kid's like, well, no, but, well, they are, Brian. I saw it on TikTok. It's real, guys. And everyone else in the Snow is Fake group is like, yeah, Brian, he's just trying to educate you, and you're being not very nice right now, because he's just trying to help you break free right now, Brian, and you're not listening. I kind of feel bad for you, Brian, because I was once like you. The government once had complete control over me, making me think that snow is real as well, but then I saw the truth, Brian. And Brian's just like, dude, I don't freaking know you. So anyways, that group kind of walks away, and Brian's friends turned to him and they're like, dang, these guys are weird. Like, why? Anyways, though, Brian had a class with the Gen Z kid. And in this class, they had to do a presentation. And the presentation, they were in a science class. And what unit of science were they doing? They were doing like natural science and environment right now. So they had to choose a location and do a presentation on the environment. So I don't know if you guys can guess, but can you guess which one the Gen Z kid chose? Yes, the Gen Z kid chose Antarctica, which in the Gen Z kid's world was the base, because like Antarctica is very, I'm pretty sure it's like very cold, snowy. It's basically like snow caps at the poles, right? And the Gen Z kid believes that Antarctica is the main point, like the base operation for the government to control the population with snow. Yeah, I'm not even kidding you. So you guys strap in, because if you thought the previous was a little cringe, a little uncomfortable, a little like, dang, that kid's delusional, well, you guys are about to listen to the rest of the story, which involves the Gen Z kid doing a class presentation on why snow is fake and Antarctica is the capital of the Illuminati, basically. So strap yourselves in. So about a week after the whole Gen Z kid going up to Brian and saying, oh, you're a sheeple, snow is fake, dude. Like after that whole thing, like I think the Gen Z kid kind of like chilled out a little bit, or he didn't chill out, but he wasn't going around actively mocking people for believing that snow is real. He just, because there wasn't snow in the next week, so I guess he kind of just like did other things. However, so Brian completely forgot about that. But a week later is the day that everyone's presentation was due, and they were going to deliver it in front of the entire class. I think Brian chose like the Sahara Desert or something. So he went up there, he showed some PowerPoint slides, and did a little bit of like, here's some information about the Sahara Desert, just so you guys know, stuff like that, whatever. And now it's time for the Gen Z kid to go up in front of everyone and give a presentation on Antarctica. Yeah, or the Arctic, right? So the Gen Z kid walks up there. He's like, ahem, everybody, I want to let you know that you are about to see some top secret classified information. I just want to let you know that if the government tries to hunt you and your family down after seeing this, it is not my fault. That is your final warning. And so everyone in the class kind of just was like, bro, what? Excuse me, sir? Hello? Question mark, right? It just, everyone was kind of weirded out by this. They were just like, what? And the teacher, right, The teacher didn't like step in or anything because I think the teacher was just like, okay. Like, is this like some kind of like funny meme is this a funny meme that you kids do? So the teacher wasn't really doing anything. Brian was really confused. I don't think Brian realized at this point that the Gen Z kid was about to do a presentation on why snow is fake, but yeah, he does. So anyways, let's just jump into it. So the Gen Z kid is like, all right, so none of you guys left, which is cool, which means that you want to be breaking free from the government. I understand. Anyways, you guys, raise a hand. How many of you guys know about Antarctica? And of course, the whole class raises their hands because it's Antarctica, bro. Like, I know what that is. And so the whole class raises their hands, being like, yes, I know what Antarctica is. And the Gen Z kid's like, wrong, you guys don't know anything. And like the whole class is like, dude, what? Like, okay, enlighten me then, bro. So he's like, so you guys probably think that the Antarctica is just like a bunch of snow and ice or whatever. Wrong, because I want to let you guys know a little fact that a lot of you don't know, and I know. And like the whole class is like both annoyed because this guy, the Gen Z kid, I keep trying to say spoiled kid. The Gen Z kid is saying this in such like a condescending manner, but also super confused because he's saying like what sounds like actual nonsense in a condescending manner. Like he's saying like, oh, do you know what Antarctica is? False. I know the truth. Like, bro, what does that freaking mean, dude? So everyone in class is kind of just like, okay, whatever, I guess. And he's like, okay. So first of all, snow. You guys know about snow, right? And the teacher is kind of looking at this kid because the teacher is starting to realize that this presentation is completely going off the rails. But the teacher, it isn't so bad that it's time for the teacher to step in yet. So the class kind of like nods in affirmation of yes, I do know what snow is. And he's like, wrong again. And the whole class is like, what? He's like, you do not actually know what snow is because what do you think it is? Real? The whole class is just like, oh my God, this kid's actually gone insane. What? He's like, well, actually, tips for Dora. Well, actually, snow, it's not actually real, guys. I mean, it's just as simple as that. Snow's not actually real. And it's quite funny. It's quite funny that you think it's real, but it's actually not. It's actually not, guys. It's not real. And the whole class is like, what? He's like, yes, in Antarctica, it's like known as the big snow place, which means it's the big fake place. Are you guys catching my drift? And let me just tell you that no one was catching his drift. Not a single person. They were all just massively confused and not sure what is going on. Yeah, so basically the whole class is just kind of like sitting there, uncomfortable at this point because they just genuinely don't know what's going on. The teacher probably should have stepped in earlier, and you'll see this kid goes a lot more off the rails and the teacher doesn't even say anything. I think the teacher was kind of just like trying to give him an opportunity to recover or pivot or be like, sorry guys, big joke, big prank, now let me do the actual information part. But yeah, no, the kid never ends up. Anyways, I'll just tell you. So the Gen Z kid is like, okay, so I'm about to blow all of your minds. So if you don't want your mind blown, you can leave now. And I mean, no one gets up to leave, even though they probably wanted to. I bet everybody in the class is kind of just like, dude, like, please just let me go. I don't want to deal with any of this. Like, this nonsense. But probably the other half were like, I want to see where this goes. Like, this is the funniest, weirdest thing I've ever seen. So the Gen Z kid is like, perfect. So, Antarctica, it's showed to us as a little ice cap that we don't need to worry about and that we don't need to actively check in on. Why do you think this is the case? Answer. This is where they make all the snow. And he has like big like air quotes or whatever. The truth about snow is it is used to control the U.S. population. This is a fact. And everyone kind of looks at each other like, this is a fact? How? How is this a fact, dude? He's like, this is a undisputable fact. Snow's not real. I know your parents have been lying to you, being like, oh, snow's real or something. Snow's not real, okay? It's not real. And it is used by the government to control the population. And the Brian is just kind of like, what? Dude. So some kid raises his hand. And the Gen Z kid is like, yes, Steven, have I not been clear enough for you? And this kid named Steven will say, raises his hand and is just like, yeah, like, how do they control the population with snow? And the Gen Z kid just doesn't respond for a second. He's like, silence! I'm telling you information. Stop interrupting me. And the whole class is kind of like, dude, what? Dude, because he asked a genuinely decent question. Like, what do you mean snow is fake? Like, what? Like, also, how does it control the population? Like, how would that control people? People is the secret word of the day. So comment people down below if you made it this far into the video. And while you're down in the comment section, make sure to check out the pinned comment, because in the pinned comment is a link to my Spotify account in which all these stories are uploaded as podcasts. I'd love it for you to listen on there if you like that. And also in the pinned comment are 2 YouTube channels that I'm also working on. Please make sure to go ahead and subscribe to those and watch some of the videos, as I think you will enjoy them. Anyways, yeah, the Gen Z kid continues to go on about how snow is fake. So he moves to the next presentation, the next slideshow, not the presentation. And it's just a bunch of letters saying, snow is fake, wake up, sheeple. And he's like, guys, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to repeat after me. Snow is fake. And he waits a second, and literally no one in the class says anything. It's just dead silent. He's like, guys, you're not paying attention. I mean, I get it. You're sheeple, and you're just like, beep, boop, bop. I'm a bot. I'm a robot. I'm an NPC. I do whatever government says. Snow is real. But guys, is it really that hard to follow orders? And the whole class is like, dude, what is this kid going on about? And so at this point, the teacher steps up. He's like, hey, man, buddy, old pal, where did you get this information, by the way, that that snow isn't real? And the Gen Z kid's like, well, I got it from really reliable sources. And the teacher's like, can you show me those sources? The first time anyone's actually asked to see the sources, not even the people in the Snow is Fake group that he created earlier asked to see the sources. And he's like, oh, yeah, sure. And he pulls out, like, his phone. He's like, wait a minute, I have to go find it. And he's, like, going on TikTok, going through his saved or whatever. He's like, here, this is undeniable proof that snow is fake. Prove me wrong, Mr. Teacher. And so the teacher looks at it and is like, son, like this. Because the teacher, I guess, has TikTok or whatever. And he's at least, I think the teacher's a little bit more with it when it comes to the internet or something. Or, okay, basically the teacher looks at the account and says, oh, like Gen Z kid, like this is a parody account. Because like, huh? He's like, yeah, this account is like, it's like a comedy account. It's like, it'll say something satirical or obviously fake and make it portray it as true, but it's even says in the account, like, clicks on the account and it says like parody in the account, satire, like, and he's like, yeah, no, this account is just satire, man. Like, this is just a joke. And the Gen Z kid's like, well, what? No, the government got to him. The government got to him. Yes. The government got to him and made him change the account. Oh, you thought I was going to fall for this, man. The government got to his account and made him change it to satire so that he could, like, protect himself. He's trying to avoid being captured by the FBI right now. And the teacher's like, no, I'm pretty sure this is just satire. Because if you actually watched the video, apparently it was, like, very obviously, like, for comedic effect. Like, it was literally done mocking people that, like, it would come to these crazy conclusions about stuff. But the Gen Z kid must have seen it and been like, this is real! Oh my God, guys! Yeah, so eventually I think the Gen Z kid starts to realize that he fell for an obvious joke. And yeah, he starts to be like, well, actually, I'm going to do some more research on the topic, and I will get back to you guys later. And the Gen Z kid sits down in his seat and just doesn't say anything. Yeah, so for the rest of class, the other presentations are pretty normal. But yeah, a week later, it snows again, and Brian goes up to the Gen Z kid and is like, hey, man. And the Gen Z kid's like, what's up? He's like, is this real? And the Gen Z kid's like, yes, it is real. It is real, Brian. You happy now?